someone want to get into DFIR, what would be the roadmap?
More than 90%. The reason is that there's a mind block. See, cybersecurity is a huge field as such. It's a cybersecurity umbrella, I call it. In fact, I wrote a book on career profiles in cybersecurity, and I could pen down at least 100 different job profiles within this one domain as such.
So do you have any short message for Indian agencies or law enforcement?
AI is a thing to recognize and embrace.
What if the SOC analyst can also be replaced? So what would be some of the top 3 tools you would have as a DFIR engineer? Hello everyone, I'm Rajneesh Gupta and we are starting a brand new podcast series with cybersecurity leaders globally. It's a great chance for you to learn from their career success, their decision styles, their style of working, their career roadmap, and some of the core technical points as well. And we will also learn about what are the skills that they look for before hiring any security professionals. So let me introduce you to our today's guest. He is an army veteran. He also worked as a scientist at CERT-N, the Indian Emergency and Response Team. He also served for Indian Army as a DFIR, digital forensics and incident response expert. He currently working as a CBO, Chief Business Officer at SysTools, where he is responsible for managing more than 250 plus tools. All right. So without taking much time, let me introduce to Mr. Santosh Khadsare. Hi, Mr. Santosh.
Hi, good
Namaste.
afternoon to you, and
Good
thanks
afternoon.
for
Good afternoon.
inviting me to the show.
It's all my pleasure. All my pleasure. So let me begin our conversation with a very, very important questions. What excites you about cybersecurity?
Okay, to start with, cybersecurity is a in thing. In thing in the sense that everyone is digitally connected. We run various initiatives. The government and the global community or globally, many digital initiatives are run. Everyone depends on connectivity, on digitization for day-to-day activities, for activities related to their work, activities
Mm-hmm.
related to their homes. And so we are a interconnected network society as a whole. And since they are digital assets which are connecting us, there is a requirement of security. They need to be protected, because apart from having the, you can say, the availability factor, or having the, you can say, all the resources available to you, you have to be protected. Your communication should be secure. Your identity or your personal identified data should be protected. So security is very important, which comes along with the, you can say, the facilities, or with the resources which are available for you to communicate or to do your day-to-day activities. That's where the cybersecurity pitches in, and that's where the cybersecurity professionals have to play a role, because not everyone who's using this, you can say, infrastructure or assets is skilled enough or trained enough or educated
Mm-hmm.
enough to protect themselves. So you have to have a different workforce, different kind of people. So that interests me, because being from an educational background such as an engineer or electronics and telecommunications, so by default we learned about, you can say, the networks, computers, and slowly cybersecurity had to be inculcated in the work culture or in the profession which I or any one of us who have done the engineering or any other computer science field has to dwell with. So it's quite interesting. It's ever evolving, very
Mm-hmm.
dynamic. You have to be on your toes, and you have to be sometimes ahead of the curve, to stand a chance to defeat the, you can say, the malicious actors in this space.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's 100%. I totally buy this idea. So, Mr. Santosh, In cybersecurity, of course, again, we have different domain, right? We have offensive, defensive security. And again, in defensive as well, we have wide range of domain. We have SOC, we have vulnerability management, security architecture. There are a lot of things. What's really excites you out of all the domains?
Uh, See, cybersecurity is a huge field as such. There are
Right.
many verticals under it. It's a cybersecurity umbrella, I call it. You have different kinds of activities, different kinds of, you can say, even if you look at the job roles which come under this particular cybersecurity umbrella, they are immense. In fact, I wrote a book on career profiles in cybersecurity, and I could pen down at least 100 different job profiles within this one domain as such.
Right.
So, regarding me as such, being in the defense, in the army, and then being in the corporate, my specialization for last 2.5 decades is being DFIR, that is digital forensics and
Okay.
incident response, which is one of the verticals within the cybersecurity domain. So since being in this field for so long and training myself, working on different kinds of cases, activities, and leading teams into this sphere, DFIR has always been my area of work, and
Got it.
I have always tried to do something more in that particular field. It's like a T curve. Now you can know everything about cybersecurity, but you can specialize only in one or two fields. Even in
Got it.
field like DFIR, you can't have the whole knowledge or whole skill set as a whole. You have to actually still sub-specialize within that also. So, digital forensics has always been my second love. Our first love, of course, being my wife. And the incident response is also a part of digital forensic. That's why DFIR as
Right.
a field interests me, and I'm very keen, interested, and passionate about this. So, that's how it goes.
Wonderful. So, for if you can possibly, in a nutshell, maybe if you can tell us what's the importance of DFIR, where exactly it starts, and what are all the activity involved with it, right? So we have digital forensics and incident response. Why both of them should work together?
Okay, so digital forensics and incident response, we refer it as DFIR, is a specialized field within the cybersecurity domain, and it
Hmm.
brings together two closely related but distinct disciplines. There are two distinct disciplines.
Hmm.
Once we speak about digital forensics, basically it's more of a reactive process. Means it's a process of collecting, preserving, analyzing, and reporting of any malicious activities. Like you are creating a digital crime scene, trying to do a root cause analysis, make a report, and put it in front of the you can say in most of the cases in the legal authorities in the courts, and it involves investigating or analyzing digital assets, systems, any kinds of evidence, whether it's at rest, or whether it's in the transmit mode. So this
Hmm.
is what a digital forensics is. And when we speak of
Right.
incident response, it is a set of coordinated activities any organization takes to detect, contain, eradicate, and recover from a cybersecurity incident. So, cybersecurity incidents can be ongoing; it can be live. So, forensics mostly speaks about, you can say, after activity. Incident response is the ongoing activity, and
Hmm.
incident response focuses on responding to attacks in progress to minimizing the damage and
Hmm.
restoring, that is the resilience part of the, you can say, the organization. But the
Hmm.
integration is very important, because I always tell people that, see, digital forensics has an independent identity, and it's a part of incident response also. Okay.
Hmm.
So for example, the integration where it comes in, the evidence, because in both cases the evidence preservation is very important.
Right.
Incident response team often quickly act. The first responder acts to any
Hmm.
threat which is there, or any incident which happens in organizations, and
Hmm.
make sure that the evidence is not destroyed, and it is available for digital forensic analysts to carry out the activity of forensics and do the root cause analysis and pinpoint where the actually the fault is, or how it occurred, or how did it happen. When you say root cause analysis, digital forensics helps to determine how that attack happened. Okay,
Hmm.
the extent of compromise and who is behind it. So this is how it goes. Then next integration, you can say, ki minimizing downtime and impact. Once the IR team is competent enough, is able to identify the first impact or the impacted systems, so they can actually work together and try to work on the resilience part. Is because you cannot stop the business. Business has to go on. Just have impact. If a stock exchange goes out even for 10 seconds, the impact of financial losses it may happen, or a big company which is doing a lot of things, a lot of activities, software development, and if the systems are compromised or a ransomware attacks takes place. Also the integration, or the where they come together, is because at last you have to produce a report, or report of all the activities. So legal and compliance requirements, in both cases digital forensic provides the evidence needed for the regulatory authority to come to some conclusion or take some legal actions. Even in case of, you can say, institution, if there are insurance claims, or
Mm-hmm.
if something else which has to follow, so that is there. But the
Right.
most important is the resilience. I mentioned resilience twice or thrice, because you have to come back to work. You cannot say that, okay, I've been attacked and I can be offline for say a day
Right.
or even an hour for that matter. So in summary, what I can tell you about this is that integrating both the digital forensic discipline and the incident response discipline allows any organization to respond to threats effectively, preserve critical evidence, and improve the overall security posture, and go back to business. Business is the most important thing. You have to go back to business.
Right.
So this is how both they work together, integrate together, and the teams have to be together.
Absolutely. And based on consulting multiple companies, I've seen most of the mature organizations, they do have DFIR, mostly handled by their SOC level 2 team. That's my personal experience, that level 1 team basically perform the initial triage and everything. Once it seems to be really a genuine thing, then it goes to the SOC level 2. And I've
Mm.
seen most of the mature organization, as I said earlier, have their DFIR operation done, where, as you said, as you rightly said, the incident response, bringing back the service in the earliest stage is as soon as possible, is the biggest priority for every organization, isn't it? So, I 100%, 100%. I think that's wonderful. So, tell us about your current, your current activity at SysTools. I've seen your company is doing fabulous. It's more than 250 plus tools. That's fantastic. I've seen a lots and lots of tools, including backup, disaster recovery, and many. I'm not sure if you are targeting on retail or business, but just give me an idea about what's your current roles and responsibility at SysTools.
So, SysTools is a purely Indian company, 100% Indian company,
Wow.
and we call ourselves as a data company, because anything and everything related to data we work in. So that's why you must have seen that we have lot of indigenous software products, more than 250 plus products in our
Mhm.
kitty. So we try to develop products which are required by everyone, whether it's the industry, the law enforcement, or anyone, for even the educational institute as such. So we have been here for around 17 years, and we have been addressing and helping out clients to not only by giving them the products, but also giving them the services in terms of DFIR services, DFIR products also, which we have. We have a flagship products in digital forensics called as email examiner, data recovery, data
Mhm.
wiping tools, and plus other tools in cybersecurity space. We have regarding to migration, backup, and so on and so forth. In every category we have plenty of tools available, conversion tools and all. So we
Okay.
are trying to address, and we are trying to, as a Indian company or as a global company, because our clients are not only Indian, but we make sure that we are able to address anything and everything related to data. So,
Mhm.
and mostly what we try to do is we are also into data privacy and services in creating forensic laboratories or any kinds of lab in consulting, in incident response, like where most of our clients take our services for incident response also. So we have a strong developing team which is in Delhi. We have a good servicing team which is in Pune and Delhi. Even development team is in Delhi, Bangalore. So a strength of around 250 plus people working, all technical people with very good skill sets in the particular area of expertise. And that is how we are there. And my responsibility here, as I joined SysTools, it is my second corporate, you can say, stint.
Uh-huh.
Previously I was with one other company in NCR region in Delhi. Then
Uh-huh.
I joined SysTools as a Chief Technology Officer around 10 to 11 months back. And of
Uh-huh.
late, 2 months back, I've taken over as a CBO, that's a Chief Business Officer, also looking into the business sides of it. So my work is to look into anything and everything related to what is the requirement of a client, whether it's industry, government, academia, and make sure that we are able to give them that particular thing, especially in the domain of digital forensics and incident response, and even in cybersecurity, because we have that product segment for cybersecurity also. So usually what I do is I make sure that go and understand the requirement. I go and try to understand what where are the shortcomings in other products which are there, and come back, sit with the team, sit with everyone, and try to get some solutions to it. And we have been quite successful, because prior to me also this company was running very fine. And after me coming in, because DFIR, as I mentioned, is my specialization, we are concentrating more into the DFIR segment as such, but also into the cybersecurity segment. So my present role is, as you rightly mentioned, about Chief Business Officer, and I do all kinds of activities, as I said, from the thought coming to the mind to putting it on ground, so that the client is able to use that particular product in the way he wants to, and for the reason he wants to.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I have a curiosity, Mr. Santosh. My curiosity is which one you find more challenging, working as a CBO at this moment or working as a CTO earlier?
Well, to be very truthful, being from the army background, I've been in the army for around 22 and a half years. And after that, and within that, I was in the Ministry of Electronics and IT, heading the CERT India and other activities also.
Mm-hmm.
So, and being a technical person from the word go, there are a lot of activities we get. CTO was always, I jumped as a CTO because I felt that would be an easier job for me, for being a technical person, because business side, usually the government employees and especially the army people, I don't say they lack, they have that knack, but the
Uh-huh.
corporate don't trust them immediately. They say ki, because anyone shifting from a different domain, totally different domain, people are skeptical. But over the years, when I came into it, people realized that I'm much better a CBO than a CTO, because CTO, so it's a back end job. Means back end in the sense that no one actually knows. You're not meeting clients. You're not, getting the business part of it. But being in the industry, being in the army also, I used to go network a lot. I used to network a lot. So people knew me. So the industry also, or my organization also realized that I can be a better CBO, and so that's why you can do both the jobs together. And it actually proved everyone wrong. And I do this because, again, I said, yeah, everything this in this outside world, what I've realized about network, how networked you are, how you're able to convey, put across a point. I also tell my sales managers and all, when they go out, if a person offers you a seat, no, your half work is done. They'll
Mm-hmm.
listen to you. They are giving, if he, means they are giving you a hearing. So
Uh-huh.
that's why, for me, I feel I'm by, if you ask me, I say I'm a CTO, good CTO, but people say that no, you can do the business side equally well. So that's how it is, and it's working fine for me, both. So it is
No,
good
I can
win-win
see that.
situation.
No, I can see that I mean, 250 plus product. It's really a fabulous job. I've seen very few company doing something
In
like this,
fact,
so this is really fantastic.
I want to mention that, as I said, I'm a new joinee here after my, say, it's my second innings, I'll call, after a government
Yeah.
stint of around 23 years. So the founders, Mr. Debashish Parmanik and Anurag, who are the founders of SysTools, with hats off to them for having a vision of an Indian company and a data company. Means there are many people, many companies who have grown, and this is one of the companies. I'll put it that way, because all those who have can sustain in business is sustenance. If you can
Yeah.
sustain for so long and still deliver efficiently and very, you can say, effectively, so credit has to be given to them. So the credits goes to the most to the founders, and who are of SysTools. And I'm just, means I'm a catalyst. You can say I'm acting as a catalyst. I'm just taking whatever they they have done forward, with my vision also added to their vision.
Got it. Got it. So that's fabulous. I have you talked about your earlier experience as well, working as a scientist for certain, and then work for Indian Army as a DFIR specialist. So let's first talk about certain. So were you working hands-on when you were there with certain, or what was your role basically?
See, in government, everything is hands-on when it's technical person, right? So
Mhm.
I went on a deputation from the Indian Army to Ministry of Electronic Sciences, certain, and I was heading the forensic, you can say the vertical there. And there we worked on live cases. Everything was live. Everything was very, you can say, critical. Everything was very secret. I'll not call it secretive, but confidential in nature.
Mhm.
So it was everything live. Over my stint there, I can very proudly say that I have contributed. I have contributed to whatever work was carried out in certain forensic laboratories or the development, infrastructure development, whatever happened there. So it was all hands on. Nothing in, in technical field. You also know very well. It's not of giving sermons. It's of working on ground, because you have to go and justify even in the courts, if how it went right or wrong. So once you're a signatory and being the head, you always sign the reports and all. So unless until you're not hands on that particular thing, you cannot go and represent your report or your, you can say, entity or organization. So
Mhm.
certain it everything was hands on, and in fact, in digital forensics space and incident response space, if the leader is not hands on, you'll not come to the right conclusions. You'll not know, because the people working under you, they have their own way of thinking of approaching a particular case or a particular evidence. But with your
Mhm.
experience, you may had some insight and give them a different angle. There are many cases where
Oh.
how we go is that in a forensic lab, that every day we discuss a case which is on the table, and everyone comes out with the view, okay, what may be the possibility, what can be
Mhm.
done. And being a leader there, you may have much more insight because you have done much more cases, much more experiences, and that actually works. And that doesn't mean that the younger generation or the you can say the people under you don't come with ideas. They also do come with ideas. But you and one more thing, if someone presents you some report, you cannot just take it as a gospel truth. You have
Mhm.
to reinsure that it's right, because any report of yours can put a person in danger. He can be, he can be
Right.
sentenced. So the full onus accountability lies with you, although someone else is doing for you. So in certain, all hands on. Not only in certain, even the army, everything was hands on. Even in the corporate now, yes, I know where this question stemmed from. And now in the CBO role, of course, most of it's in the presentations, getting business. But in the IR cases which we handle, you still have to go and do hands on.
Right. Absolutely. So let's talk about your experience while working with the Indian Army. So you were working as a DFIR. I assume it would be probably the same kind of environment working in digital forensics, I believe, right?
No, no, it is
Okay.
totally different, because there's no separate DFIR cadre in Indian Army, right? So
Oh.
after my engineering, I got commissioned into the core of signals. It's a communication core where we do communication, handle exchanges, do radio communication, satellite communication, networking, IT. So this is the domain of that particular, you can say, core of signals. And after that, once you into IT networking, like once we joined, DFIR was not a space, or cybersecurity was just evolving. In I joined in 1999. Okay,
Okay.
so that was that time. Networking was more automation.
Right.
Networking was into play that time. But after, within, when you join the armed forces, then if they see which persons, officers, or the other cadres are interested in doing a particular kind of a job, if they have a particular skill set, like we do in the corporate also, if a particular person is skilled for a particular thing, you allot him that task. So I
Uh-huh.
was very interested, self-interest firstly, into the forensic domain. So in fact, I was the person where I was an instructor in Military College of Telecommunication Engineering, and forensics as a subject was started by me there. Even the labs which were created or which have been created, I've been instrumental in setting up labs because I
Wow.
knew that this particular field is going to evolve. Others also knew, but I was the, you can say, the ground soldier to do those particular tasks because that was the younger days for me, of me. Sorry. So that's where people realize, ki, no, I'm good in this forensic domain. And in army or in defense forces, if you have a skill, they give you that particular thing. So then I was made to head the forensic lab for the whole Indian Army, doing investigations for whole Indian Army. I was given the opportunity to go abroad and represent India, the defense. Then I was given the opportunity to go on deputation to ministry. So it was a skill which developed, and after say 2004, 2005, every organization, whether it's the government, defense, private, have DFIR or digital forensics or investigation in their, in their basket as such. So within the army, I was fortunate enough because in defense, there's no dearth of resources. Means resources in the sense ki whatever you require in terms of tools you get, however expensive they are. So that was
Mm-hmm.
a plus point for me, that I was given all the wherewithal to groom myself, to develop my skills and develop my teams also. So it was a
Right.
blessing in disguise for being in such an organization where there were no restrictions or limitations of resources in terms of whatever required for me to work in this field. Of course, then we started training people. I was instrumental in training people, training officers, making
Mm-hmm.
it as a whole. You giving a bunch of people who can work in this field. So
Nice.
army aided me in what I wanted to do, which was my passion, and I'm very thankful, grateful, because outside maybe I would not have got those many opportunities, or though that wherewithal or the supporting infrastructure or to do these things. So there is where I came into contact with the corporates, because there's always interaction between the defense academia industry. So people also realize that he is a person who is in the army and he is very interested in forensics and he's doing some work in forensics, or writing some papers, or trying to develop some tools, or working very extensively. So
Mm-hmm.
that is why even the outside world also, means the corporates and the academia also took cognizance also. So all the credit actually goes to my parent organization, because of whom what I am today. Otherwise, if you see in outside world, there are hundreds, thousands, or thousands for that matter, of professionals who want to grow, but they are not identified. I like people identify me as a digital forensics professional. I'll not call
Uh-huh.
expert because it's a court who call us as expert, but as a professional. So people know, and I also realized when I spoke about the team model, that is no use of I work in the whole cybersecurity space, but I never tried to get identified as a cybersecurity professional, because it would be a very, you can say, diluted kind of you can say a portfolio, because when you say
Right.
cybersecurity, I said everything else. So I
Yes.
wanted to be known and work only into digital forensics. Incident response also actually joined later. So core was my digital
Correct.
forensics, and I wanted to make an identity of digital forensics, because until you don't have an identity, no one listens to you. When I was in the
Uh-huh.
government, or now also I interact with a lot of government officials, I try to push people listen, or people at least give a hearing, because they know he's core into forensics, or he's worked into it, so he has expertise and he can give some valid comments. So
Correct.
I would like to tell also audience, ki, never be generic, be specific in anything you do, because the whole world is, you can say the whole world is ours, but you can't, you have to be specific. If you are good at something, try to create a name for that. Well,
Right.
people sometimes disagree with my this comment of generalization and specialization, but I especially believe in specialization. That's what I feel.
I totally buy this idea. I mean, I also talk to a lot of my students and many of my, people, many of my friends as well. I always talk about the power of being niche. The more niche we are, the better we, get more, we get more valuable in the society, in the community, in the space that we are. So I 100% agree with that. So, Mr. Santosh, I have a curiosity to understand. Um, I mean, when you were working with the government or any, I mean, while when you were having your DFIR experience as a from the hands-on or technology point of view. So, just wanted to understand where we having or in India where we having all the tools required, Or I see a lot of. I'm asking this question because I've worked with multiple distributor. I've seen most of them resell the DFIR tools or digital forensics tools, especially. Maybe it's memory forensics, network forensics, other stuff, or maybe iOS related data acquisition process, artifact analysis as well. So while you were working as a DFIR, were we having all the tools in house in India itself, or were we importing or buying some tools from some international bodies or companies?
Actually, this is the best question till now you have asked me, because I've been a very strong propagandist about India, Make in India tool. You must have seen wherever I go,
Uh-huh.
I speak a lot about that in my talks, in my
Okay.
conference. One of the reasons of joining the corporates and doing what I'm doing now is because there was a shortcoming of this particular, you can say, space of indigenous tools.
True.
When I was working in the government, yes, most of the tool, 99% tools were actually taken from
Hmm.
abroad or bought from abroad or from the OEMs who were international. That doesn't mean today it doesn't happen. Yes, today also we use tools which are state of art, which are globally accepted by everyone. We use those tools. There's no doubts about it. But at that time, as I said, there were a lot of tools. More than, I'll put it, more than 95% of tools were coming from outside. I rarely remember few tools which were in the Make in India category. Yes, of course, there were few which were being developed by SIDAC, Trivandrum, or some other private players as such, but they were not extensively used. So that was one of the reasons of me coming, and I thought I can contribute by coming out and making some Make in India tools, or
Nice.
at least paving the way for this, or at least pushing this particular idea to the outside community that let's come make in India. Although the government is pushing a lot, means I am nothing in front of that because I'm just I'm a small player who's trying to promote make in India tools. So when I came out in the corporate, first thing in my first company, I launched 5 Make in India products, digital forensic products. If you see the
Wow.
Drona series workstation. Now that doesn't mean I've invented something; they existed, but everything
Hmm.
was imported, and we used to pay at least 5x, 10x the cost. Now, if you see even the Faraday bag, I'll give a simple example: a Faraday bag which is made to seize
Hmm.
evidence. So we used to
Hmm.
buy it from, you say, the US or the Israeli market or the Europe market, and it used to cost, by the time it landed in India, it used to cost around 15,000 or 20,000 bucks till it landed in India. But can you imagine, we made the Faraday bag for just for 3,000 rupees, and we were selling it for 4,000 rupees.
Wow.
Similarly, the workstations, of course, there were workstations which came from outside, and of course, there were few workstations, but mostly they were cannibalized workstations which were made in India. I mean, you just go
Uh-huh.
to a computer shop and put in all what is required, which is not a workstation at all. So although others also working, I also launched my own workstations, and the workstation which I used to buy when I was in the government for say 50 lakh rupees, we were selling it as 10 lakh rupees. So means
Oh.
after our profits, putting our profits on it, that's the cost. So it was kind of a market disruption, and at the same time we were lucky. Means I was also lucky being a part of that, time span. The government of India has started or was starting pushing to make in India products, everything we need, indigenization, Atmanirbhar Bharat and all. So as I said, I launched 5 products there. And I also made a point, even if I go out in the corporate world, I will be working for Indian companies, not for any foreign company. That was my, otherwise people often ask me, why didn't you join? You had so much experience, you could have joined any multinational company and worked.
True.
But that was not my aim. First, my aim was to get some Indian products, join an Indian company, contribute to the Indian ecosystem, be a mentor to the Indian people. So I've been whatever I am. I'm because of what support I got from the this country itself. That doesn't mean I'm against someone. I support them. I use other tools also, as I said, because in forensic you should have multiple category of tools available
True.
with you. They are world class tools, and nothing wrong with them. But why not have whatever we can do? Why not do? That was my this.
100%.
Even if you see in the present, like we are launch mail examiner, data wiping tools, data recovery tool. These are all required by the forensic laboratory. And again, as I'm not inventing anything. I'm just trying to make it a cost-effective solutions available to the market with the Indian, you can say Indian, you can say flavor to it. Because if you buy a tool, Indian law enforcement require different kinds of features or different kinds of, you can say, processes. So we incorporate that. I'm very happy to say that I don't take the credit for everything. There are many people working in this field, but much more have started making in India. There may be now tens of workstations which I'm saying complying to make in India. The workstation which were calling themselves as a foreign entity, they have made their plants in India and they are calling it make in India. So that is the achievement. Okay, so that is a very good thing which is happening for the country as a whole and for every one of us. So that is how it is. So just a small contribution. Passionate about this field, that you can that I'll take full credits. But contribution, yes, I'm trying my best. So whatever I can do to contribute to this community. No one recognized this community. For till 5 years back or 7 years back, no conference had forensics as a even as a talking point. They spoke about everything, about red teaming, they spoke about hacking, they spoke everything, but forensics was always left out. If you pick up all the conferences say 10 years back,
Right. I've
very
seen
few
that.
people like me have gone and spoken on forensics. I remember
Yeah.
going to Cocoon and speaking on SSD forensics.
Yeah.
I used to fight with them, please give me a chance. And people used to say, sir, it's koi value nahi hai. No one is there to listen for this particular segment. But now there
Mm.
are separate forensic conferences which are running in the country. In fact,
Right.
we run one of the conferences, IFIP, which is run
Oh,
in
wow.
Delhi. Yeah, IFIP, which is again with Dr. Gaurav Gupta from Ministry of Electronics and IT heads it, and we support him in that particular activity
Nice.
because we feel this is, see, India is going to become a skill hub. Everyone says, but
Mm.
we have to become a skill hub, not in the generic skills, in the specialized skills, where people will want us, where people will like. And forensic is one such field. If you have this skill, everyone in the world will want you. They'll want your services. They'll want your products. So and there are very few people. I would like to give credits to other few people also who in the
Okay.
90s, early 90s worked for this community, whether it is Venkateshan from Lab System, whether it is Mr. Omvir Singh who was in CERT India, whether it is Mr. Ram who was in Hyderabad. So there are many more people who have worked, and so today you have lot of forensic products which are make in India products. Any category you take, you have make in India product, whether it's analyze tools, mobile tools. Yeah, mobiles we are falling back because it requires a lot of research and all. But yes, these things are coming up. So really happy for the situation. Although there are few shortcomings still,
True.
but still we have come a long way.
Mr. Santosh, I ask you because I had a story. I mean, probably around 5 years back, 5 or 6 years back, when I was working with a US based company and few European companies as well. They were into security. They wanted to set up their forensics operation. So I initially consultant because they used to they were serving the federal agencies back then. So I recommended them. I mean, there are lots of open source tools available, but they were very strict to NCASE, the open text forensics tool. So they were saying, I mean, this is the tool we must have, and this is the tool because the the court also accept the evidence collected from the NCASE itself. So that's where I realized, I mean, all the system in the Western region or even in the India as well, I've seen they actually trust the data coming in from NCASE a lot. So that's the reason I actually ask you that question.
No, no, I would
But I
like to
100%, yeah,
add to you in that case. Yes, of course, in case FTK,
FTK management.
they are still very good tools available in the market, and they are running well. In fact, FTK Xtero is also owned by an Indian
Yeah,
entrepreneur, and they have presence here. But let me tell you, in the same category, there are many more indigenous analysis tools which you have come. You have MyFRT by Lab System, Pro Discover tool is there. So
right,
what I
absolutely.
want to tell, that's one very important point you have raised. And it has come out, and it's good it has come out. See, the people who are in decision making, when they were 10 years back and they required forensic, they only knew few tools. But
Correct.
today they are so much in the basket, they don't know. So whenever they want to say they have to buy do a particular category imaging or analysis or mobile, they only name one tool. No, we want to go with that tool. I want to tell them, see, there are so many better tools available for your disposal. Try everyone and see which is the best for you.
Correct.
It's not you
Correct.
should go you just because you were there. I can't say when 15 years or 20 years back I started forensic, I was using a particular tool. Only you know you should use that tool. Those companies
Okay.
have stopped even supporting or giving updates for that. And best thing is that you see what is available today in the market. So there has to
Mhm.
be, it's like I say in this analysis segment I mentioned, apart from FTK, NKS, you have Pro Discover,
Correct.
MyFRT, Magnet. I can name so many tools, and most of them are Make in India tools. So both the things are getting added. So my messaging is that please see what is on the table for you, what is in the
True.
basket. If not, ask people instead of just sticking to. I can't say, as I said, I did my engineering in the last century, in the 90s. That doesn't mean I'll stick to the fundamentals. So now we have gone so far. We have gone to SSDs. I can't say I'll go stick to the register and CMOS logic and something like that. So now I do IoT forensics, or I do that was never taught or even thought for that matter. Yeah, robotics in SCADA forensics and ICS.
Mm. Yeah.
So you have to evolve in the tools also. Tools, and regarding open source tools you mentioned, yes, there are open source tools and there are few good open source tools available, like Autopsy is there. There are few frameworks which are
Yes.
available. But when you go to the courts and all, they were right when they said to you that they want to use commercial tools. I'll not take the name of particular tool because in the court of law, there may be occasions where the OEM may be called to the court to explain how the tool is
Correct.
working. In
Yeah.
case of open source tool, they may not get, you may not get the latest updates, or the updates which come, maybe you just take operating system. No, we used to work on a lot of Linux systems,
Right.
Red Hat, so many so forth, which were free, like Fedora and all. They used to get the same update 6 months afterwards, right?
Correct.
You know that. So
Yeah.
anything which is, because which can be questioned cannot be go to the courts. So you can
Correct.
use it for training, you can use it for re-verification. It's very
Mm.
much required. Let me tell you, a few of the open source tools are very good. Like most of the imagers are free. They're open source.
Correct.
We
Use
use them.
FTK Manager also. It's
Yeah,
quite
yeah, yeah.
fine.
So that's what I'm saying. So you are in forensics, the same evidence should be retrieved by using the same process by two different tools.
Wonderful. Um, Based on this, I probably will go. We'll talk more of DFIR later. But for now, I wanted to get an understanding based on your past 5-6 years of experience in DFIR, especially. Uh, what do you see? I mean, if you look at look at our Indian agency, or maybe let's say law enforcement, what percentage of, tools are currently international, and what percentage of tools are currently
More
indigenous?
than 90% tools are international, even on as on today.
Really?
100%, more than 90%. The reason is that there's a mind block at some places. That's
Okay.
why I started by saying, see what is there on the table. And to be very truthful, even the law enforcement, if they have to take tool, they have to be sure the credibility of the tool has to come into it. So
Right.
it's both ways. The person, and we are still not making so as many tools as we require in the Indian space. Of course, there are a lot of initiative programs, you can say, which are being run, but it will take time because this is all research based. 90% tools are still not making India. I,
So
I,
do
I mean,
you have?
the exact figure I can't say, but I'm just giving my mind out of it. It's a
Sure.
arbitrary figure. Yeah.
So, do you have any short message for Indian agencies or law enforcement why they should go for indigenous tools or
See,
make in India tool as such?
I've been a part of that ecosystem. I understand the
Right.
problems. I understand the problem statements. I understand everything. But let me tell you, the Indian law enforcements are trying to, adopt the Make in India tools, which are there. But as I said, there are not that so many tools also available. See, there's both ways. And you see, any problem statement, no, you can't have a perfect solution to it.
Right.
As I said, the mindset also of a person who's taking a tool, nay, I want this only. So that is maybe right, maybe wrong, but I call it wrong because you have to give a chance to someone else. Like it's a fresher and a job. He applies for a job and he says, you can't say you're a fresher, I'll not give you a job. Unless until you don't give him a job, he'll not get experience. But in the
The
from the
chicken
company
egg
side,
situation. Yeah.
yeah, in the company you can say I can't have all freshers working with me, right? I have to have
Yeah.
experienced
Right.
people also. I can.
Mhm.
So in the tool segment, there are few tools because they have to work, they have to function. So I recommend
Right.
that if you have a particular category tool which is not a Make in India product, have one more tool of Make in India in the same category and let it work. So you also come to know what are the shortcomings. You give the feedback. The tool also gets, it's the law enforcement starts using it. As I said in forensics, if I am doing an analysis of a say storage media, I don't have to use only two tools. Now I can use 10 tools. I can have 10 tools in my kit. And the law enforcement, no one is
Right.
stopping you for having two tools. In fact, if one stop, you can't have a single point of failure. Okay. So my suggestion, because everyone in the law enforcement or whoever is in the chair in the forensic laboratory, they also understand very well what I'm trying to tell them, is that they also know it well, and I am happy that wherever I have off late, I'm seeing that they are giving importance to Make in India tools, especially I4C, because my tool also they are new tools, and I got a call from I4C ki please come and demonstrate your tool to us. Not only from I4C, from many tools, because I promote it a lot. So,
Right.
so the change is happening, but the pace of change is not that fast. What is required? Only few of them, because not only taking demonstrations, you have to also see. You can't take only. I'm not saying that they buy free or something, but you have to sustain that company. Like my company is still a very stable company. It means it is there for 17. But the people who have, I know a lot of people who have made forensic tool. They are new in the industry. They cannot get into the market because they don't have the prior history of someone using that tool, and you can't expect them, so we have to help them, everyone help them. So what I do is, whenever I find such to people, I tell ki, why don't you integrate my your tool with my tool, so that you can
Right.
say, give me a API interface or some kind of this, so at least you can code that it works with this tool also. We work
Right.
together. I
Understand.
not taking that tool as such, but it becomes a selling point for them ki, it can be integrated with this tool also. So that's what I'll say to the law enforcement, my brothers, and that uh, we know the limitations, but I would still, whatever you're doing, I know you're doing much, but still, please help out, Make in India tools, because the present scenario in the world is not that good, and we have
Right.
to come to this place in all spheres, even in forensic,
Absolutely.
help our Make in India products. They may not be 100% good, mean 100% as compatible or comparable to the tool. Even if they are 90%, they should be given a chance. Yes,
Absolutely.
if they don't perform after that also, then I do agree with them. But at least give them a chance. That's what I would
Absolutely.
recommend.
I mean, I'll tell you my personal experience. I mean, I've seen in last 3 years, I've seen a lot of RFPs from agencies, and in the RFC itself, it's clearly been mentioned the name of the OEM in the forensics tools. So I'm 100% agree with you that Indian companies should get a chance. Probably there should be a conversation before before publishing the RFP, I guess, to talk to all
That
the
is a
product.
different talk in itself. I'll tell you.
Probably
That's
we
a
can
different.
discuss it in our podcast, but I just shared my personal observation while working with
You're very
multiple
right.
companies.
You're very right, and I also feel the same, and I've been in the chair, as I said, been the part of the ecosystem, but that has to go now. We
I
have to
agree.
give
Yeah,
chance to everyone.
true. So, Mr. Santosh, let's talk about one more very interesting topic. I've seen you publish. We were talking about the products, right? So, let's say you build so many products in your current company. I think you assisted building a lot of companies, a lot of products in your last companies as well. But if someone like probably a guy in 30s who has a knowledge of product, who has a knowledge of agent, if he want to build such kind of a cybersecurity product, maybe forensics, maybe any other product in DFIR vertical, probably what are the 3 to 5 skills that he must have to build product like yours?
See, when you say about skills, no. So, firstly, what you require is the intent. You have
Hmm.
to have intent, the passion towards that, right?
Hmm.
And if someone wants to build any cybersecurity product, I'll not stick to a DFIR as such. See, firstly, you have to have the right set of people along with you because, as I said, everyone, I can't have all the skills with me. I can't be a good programmer at the same time and in a good some other field specialist at the same time. But few things are very much required: programming and scripting proficiency. There are different
Mm-hmm.
types of programming languages which are there, which are used, and this is what if you're building a product, so that becomes your core specialization. They help you in writing secure coding because secure
Right.
coding is very important when we
True.
speak about vulnerabilities and other things, because everyone is going to test them. The world is going, once it's out in the market, people are going to test it thoroughly. Next
Right.
is what you require. Someone in the team should be well versed with networking,
Mm.
system administration, deep understanding of networking concept and administration of that secure digital infrastructure is there. Now, it may sound very basic what I'm telling you, but this is also very much required.
Oh, that's very important.
This also includes configuration firewall, IPS, IDSs, because you may have a company, and but if your source code gets stolen, there are so many cases which we now do is okay, the IP theft is there, and when we see the companies, they are working on good products, but they have not secured their own selves, and that's why they are
True.
out in the this. Then next comes what I feel is the risk management and compliance. Compliance is a very important. If you're building a product, it has to be compliant with the global standards and with the, you can say, the national standards also, and with the NIST standards, with the GDPR, with the
Correct.
DPDP, depending on the area where you're planning to launch your tools. It is very important to have the ability to identify the vulnerabilities, assess risk, and ensure that the products comply. All these things. It has to be a robust building and compliance cybersecurity solution. Next, what is required is the incident response and security handling. Will not dwell much, but we have already spoken on that. Then everything nowadays is, you have to have on-prem or in the cloud. So applications which you develop, the application in the cloud security is very important aspect of it, because people now being a very, you can say, diverse world, and so everything is moving to the cloud. So cloud has gained equal importance and to this, whether it's any kind of cloud, means with the rise of this cloud computing and complex,
Uh-huh.
you can say, software knowledge is very important for this. So to build any cybersecurity products, these things are very important. And first is, as I mentioned, the intent. The government is
Right.
supporting a lot. If you see, there are a lot of initiative programs. Like of
Right.
late, there was a program for ministry to give, and I think 36 of the products have been selected for the next stage.
Right.
And government is sponsoring them by giving them prizes worth more than 7 crore rupees or something like that.
Right.
So there's a push everywhere. Only that I also, but let me tell you one more thing, which may
Uh-huh.
be some like a salt in our talk. People want to make startups or start startup, but the intent is not to go for long. They just want to take
Mm.
the government funding and just finish it off and go. I've seen many of them. So that's why I started with the intent, but that doesn't kill the point that there are equally amount of people who want to actually contribute. So it's a
Got it.
both ways. So if you're a person who is really, I know a person who, I know many of them, but I'll speak of a person for last 7 years he's building one product, and every time he
Wow.
asks me to vet it. It's a mobile security product, mobile forensic product. Every time he asks me to come and vet it, sir, please come. Again, I'm going next week. I'll meet him. So I tell him that that is the effort, and जो लगन जो हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं लगन जो है, और so I really passionate that people are passionate about that. So
Mhm.
then only, and that's why he also, government is also supporting. So what I want to tell, anything you build now, you should give it to the environment to test it, work, and then only you'll be able to, get a good
100%.
product.
I agree with it. I mean, I have just one point to add here based on my personal experience. I worked with few startups in US, so through some angel investor. So you won't believe, but they were actually building a SOAR probably 2 years back. I thought, I mean, there are a lot of players already in the market, but they wanted to rebuild the IDS and everything. When I talked to their CEO, CTO, and product manager all together in a call, I thought they want to have everything of their own. I mean, and then at the end of the conversation, I just told them, see, you don't have to reinvent the wheels at this moment of a time. You can, there are lots of ideas. I mean, there's suricata, snort, if all the tools are open source and freely available, you can just build your product on top of it. Look at there's a elastic, right? So we have Vazu tool. I'm an ambassador for India for Vazu. I've written a book on it. So you can, the Vazu, they have done from tremendous job, fabulous job. The person Santiago is the CEO of the company. He actually forked the OSEC and rebuild the product, and it's so beautiful. It's so lovely. Lots of MSPs in India, a lot of IT companies are in India are actually using it. So what you said, it's very very important. I think the intent is very very important, because if we have a positive intent, it will go for a very long period, right? We build the product in a sense that yes, I have to make it live and solve the real world problem, not just to get the money, right? So I think I'm totally agree with you. So thank you so much for that. I have few more questions. Wanted to talk about from the students' point of view, right? So those who are listening, those who want to get into cybersecurity or DFIR especially. So, I mean, we already talked about the importance of DFIR. So, I think that what I wanted to understand is if someone want to get into DFIR, what would be the roadmap? What they should really learn first, second, and third?
Okay. Firstly, it's a very, again, a very important question which you have asked, because whenever I go to talk, to interact, to speak with academia, also they ask the same question. So, what should the student do? What should they know? Let me start with the academia as such. Till few years back, I mean, still 4 5 years back, the academic syllabus also was not up to the mark. So I have been to various universities, and many people like me have been to university, and now the syllabus revision has started. They were teaching 8085 microprocessor and other things, which is not
Uh-huh.
bad if you are learning programming. But for DFIR space, you have to teach the state of art. You can
Mhm.
say the processes and tools. They were not having even the infrastructure to teach. So
Uh-huh.
nowadays, few academic institutions have started having some laboratories to teach. We, even if in tenth, when we had a practical, we used to do that chemical reaction, right? We had a lab
Right.
to prove, but they're teaching forensic as subject and they don't have a lab to teach. So
Uh-huh.
theoretical, firstly theoretical, which is outdated, and then not having a practical. And the other sad part is not having a proper teachers to teach, because they don't have the professors who have the knowledge of forensics who are teaching. So everything was there, but things, I'll not say they have improved as such, because let's be very critic about this, but they are improving because they have started approaching experts to revise the syllabus, to come and take talks, to organize FDPs. So this is again a good step in doing.
Absolutely.
Regarding students, if what they have to do, see, I'll start with the example of a forensic lab. People always ask me, students, ki, should I do a engineering or should I do what BCS to work into DFIR space, digital forensic space. I tell them whatever you do, whether you are a diploma holder or whether you are a MTech or a BTech, anyone can come into the field, because there are different job roles which you can take. For a lab assistant, I don't need a BTech or a MTech person, right? He can be a diploma holder who understands computers, networking, and done some few courses.
Mhm.
Similarly, for, you can say, for a tool development, I don't have to have a, or sorry, for an analyst, I don't have to have a MTech or a research fellow as such. For that, a BTech student who have done or has learned operating system, file systems, and computers networking, he can be taught. So this is how the job roles are different. Means even if you are if you have a different qualification, you can do a different kind of a job role. The next part comes to the skilling. The skilling is very important. We just most of the industry says, even I say, now being in the industry, that the people coming off of academia are not industry ready, because they don't know what the industry requires, and they immediately want job. So what is the
Okay.
solution here? That either you do internships or you do some cross. I remember when we did engineering, there was sandwich pattern of electronics, that you do 6 months in some industry. Now,
Right.
some universities have started this also, by the way, but
Uh-huh.
they are not industry ready. So the students should understand that they should do some internship or some kind of on hands with some organizations, whether it's a government, law enforcement, or a
Right.
corporate, and work with them, so that they at least know. Every student comes out, he wants a job, and I totally agree, because firstly that they have put in so much efforts in their education, coming
Hmm.
BTech. Secondly, all students come from a humble background, they have to start earning as soon as they finish their
Correct.
graduations. But in this niche field, if you have to gain on a longer term, you have to struggle more, a bit more. That's what I tell people. So if you spend say 6 months or 1 year more apart from what you have done your graduation, you will rise more faster. So people always, students want, see, there are different kinds of internships also, free, paid.
Correct.
Everyone doesn't get paid internship, but I strongly recommend that firstly, you whatever type of internship you get, you should go and take it. It will give
Correct.
you a experience. I myself firmly I don't believe in paid internship. I know people don't agree with my thought process, but I feel ki once you are learning, you learn thoroughly. It's not for
Hmm.
that certificate you pay me, and or I pay you as an intern, and you earn. Both way it happens. You know that very well. Some people take pay also to give some pay also. But anyway, both everyone has the way to think. My thought process is not that. My thought process is that ki if you want to learn, you have to struggle hard. That's what we were taught. What our generation, but generation change. There's a
Generation changed
different,
a lot. Yeah.
yeah, the different thing. But mainly is ki you have to have hands-on practice if someone has to offer a job. Next thing I want to tell, very important, ki I do a lot of mentoring. I'm connected with thousands of students, professionals, and all over the last decade or so. Every day, you'll not believe, I get messages, post, LinkedIn post, WhatsApp messages, mails. I'm looking for an internship. I'm looking for for a job. See, I cannot, as I said, a company cannot have all freshers or all interns or all
Right.
things. There's a limited capability we can have. But yes, I do promote these people so that they come. I be part of internships which are run at a national level. I go and give talks. I try to tell them what is there. Any field for that matter, there, there's some saturation which comes after some time. You can only
Hmm.
stand out if you are skilled enough. That's why I said the T model. They should follow the T model and try to do it.
Right.
No one. I'll say no one means no one can assure you a job. And like it says, ki you will get a job on your own skills, on your own
Right.
efforts, on your own intent. We can only guide you how to go, what to do, and help a very few of them. Like I said, in my company, if I can only accommodate 10, I can only accommodate 10. I can't accommodate the 11th person, right? So this is across the spectrum. So
Yeah.
that's what I would like to say, that this is a very upcoming field, a niche field, a demanding field, a growing field. But you should not look for immediate growth or immediate, you can say, output. We have to struggle. Now I know a lot of students who have listened to my this idea, and after 2 years now they are in big multinationals working. They say, "Ki, sir, thank God we listened to you, and we didn't just run only for getting a job or get a job which was a 30K or a 20K job. We know we learned first. You learn first. So academic learning is different. Professional learning is different. Either you do it while you're in academia or you do it after coming out from academia. It has to go. It has to go that way.
100%. And I think the many of them are actually, I mean, what you just said, it's really makes sense because I've seen there are a lot of initiative happening. I think there's NFSU, National Forensic Science University, reaching people directly into the forensics. I also interacted. I was with the NASCOM in the initial conversation where it was so interesting. They actually talked to private companies, the professionals, and they actually started building and developing their own course programs specific to cybersecurity. And they also publish their courses. It's all already published on Future Skills. So that's very interesting. Yeah.
One thing I want to send a message. It's a good platform me to tell the people.
Yeah.
Uh, the people who are into this field for a long time. It's high time they stop awareness programs and only giving something. It's high time we deliver in terms of products and all. Because
Right.
what I'm seeing, the trend in India, a disturbing trend, which I'll call it, is that people only want to restrict themselves to awareness programs and giving some sort small kind of training and free. That is not what will take us ahead as a country. See, if
Hmm.
everyone starts doing it, then we are only doing it. Why aren't we having products? The reason is
Hmm.
people are restricting themselves only to this speaking. Even I would be not doing justice to myself if I would only be speaking on a podcast or going on a talk, going on a conference and just speaking if I were not delivering a product as such. So
True.
trainings and all everyone can give. Leave the and one more thing to the youngsters. See, everything has a time. Your time is not to call yourself an expert, or your time is not to go and give trainings. The senior people will give trainings. I see a lot of people, first thing they want to start is I've started a course. NASCOM, right. This DSC are
Right.
right. They are doing the right job. NFSU, RRU, all the education are right. So, but I see youngsters that the passing out and doing MTech and sir, I've developed a course and I'm going to give training. That is not what you should be doing. You should
Uh-huh.
be doing something more. Leave it to the. That's why I said, ki I stopped doing. I am a firm believer ki you vacate a seat and go ahead. If I
Right.
start doing a particular thing which I was doing 10 years back, then I've done no good to myself also or to them. So for the senior people also I have advice, and for the juniors also I have advice. Do what you are supposed to do. See, juniors, you have long way to go. Do something which can make a mark, impact. For
True.
seniors, please share your experiences, whatever trainings you want to do. Because see, I did my engineering in the last century. As I say, I may
Hmm.
not be a good student of a data science if you call me. I may be a good student of a IT or a electronics when that was there. I try to cope up, right? But still, the younger generation are much better than me for that matter. So you
Hmm.
have the wherewithal. So please develop. Please don't go into awareness trainings and doing courses. And this is for the younger people. I'm telling you. Please
Hmm.
don't do that. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your resources. There's so much competition. You lose, and you will back out at one stage in your life. So please take it with a pinch of salt. It's a advice from me. Rest all
That's a,
it
it's
depends
truly,
on other.
it's truly
Uh,
important. It's truly important. 100%.
do
100%. I
something
do.
which is which will matter,
Yes.
which will make you you may fail, no issues. You may fail, but you yourself will be confident that I tried my thing. And see, if people who can't take risks, of course they are doing jobs, right? So if you fail in something, you can still go on for a job with your experience.
Right.
And people who can take risk, please take risks. And good people are doing startups. I'm very happy for them, and they should go.
Yeah.
But 90% of the students who come to me, they have entered the services segment of startup, which I would not, means if asked me prior, I would never recommend them to do that.
Hmm.
Go into product segment, go into something.
Because that's where the real innovation happens, right?
Yeah, you have
So,
you have the whole lifespan in front of you. You can't get into trainings and awareness. Do it, but that should not be a priority. I'll put it in a
correct.
different way. Do it. Yeah, of
Right.
course you do it.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So, Mr. Santosh, I mean, in your while building a product, what you see the future of DFIR? I mean, when we are also surrounded by AI nowadays, so how exactly AI will influence the DFIR ecosystem, or should we? I mean, is there? I mean, in your company, are you also you using AI while building your product, or you have some sort of feature with DFIR tool?
See, AI is a thing to recognize and embrace. I'll answer your last question first. Yes, in our company also we are embracing AI, and we are trying to incorporate AI in whatever task, not only in our products, also in the task what we do on our day-to-day activity.
Mm-hmm.
So AI has to, and AI and digital forensics are. See, I'll tell you one thing. Few years back, we are doing reactive forensics only when
Oh,
it
okay.
came to our job, and we used to do. Now we are doing proactive forensics when you spoke about SOC and other things where you're
Right.
doing
Right.
incident. But the future is of predictive forensics now. So from reactive to productive to predictive, that is a moment which we should be taking.
Mm-hmm.
And AI, digital forensics is also not untouched by AI. If we don't embrace AI and digital forensics, will fall back. I promote a lot of. I mean, I am supporting a lot of, against child pornography, right?
Mm-hmm.
CSAM, what we call. For that, without AI, you cannot work. Identification of child pornographic images, even weapons. Every tool has incorporated AI. So it DFIR practices have to
Mm-hmm.
leverage machine learning, automation, behavioral
Uh-huh.
analytics, so that
Uh-huh.
not only it gives you the solutions, but also it increases the speed, accuracy, efficiency
Right.
throughout the security life cycle. And if you see in forensics investigation or DFIR, automation has come in, threat detection, triaging you mentioned yourself, then
Right.
behavioral analytic, all
Hmm.
automation solutions are there. And every tool has to continuously learn and give. So that is all is there. Integration with other tools, with other AI based tools.
Correct.
And so there may be a lot of human oversight which can be avoided by AI. But yes, to do you totally depend on AI? No. Like Gen AI is being used now. Yeah, it can use. There'll be other kind of AI which is. In fact, I was listening to Nvidia CEO yesterday only.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
A beautiful talk
I
he
heard
gave,
that.
and I hope you must have listened to that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
worth listening. So everyone, if a person like him, he's saying, "I will change." What I did so many years will not work in future.
Mm.
So you can imagine. So every thought leader also has to change, embrace AI. It's like cybersecurity. You cannot avoid cybersecurity. You cannot. You have to embrace it, and see how
Mm.
it is good for your organization, good for your products, because it is the next big thing after internet. Right.
Right.
It is the next big thing after internet, or it may be
Right.
even bigger. No one of us knows. Semiconductors may be there, but AI is there, and it is there to stay. DFIR has to go, but yes, there will be some legal issues when it goes to the court and other
Right.
things. Like AI, in one statement, say AI is a problem also and a solution also for a DFIR segment. Problem because you have deepfakes coming in, you have so many AI
Oh, yeah.
related crimes
Right.
coming in, and
It's
a
very
solution
difficult to
because
detect. Yeah.
so it's a problem also and it's a solution also. You have to embrace AI, you have to go with it. Only you have to be a bit careful that you don't totally develop, because at last the mind behind a product should be yours, not of the AIs. No. So your thought process, and let me tell you, I also agree to what the talk which I mentioned said. Ki AI is not going to kill your job. You have to reskill yourself. uh, Means,
That was
of
my
course,
next question, by the way.
yeah, it may reduce few jobs in some sectors. So, and I in fact posted yesterday or day before, I posted one LinkedIn post which I said ki, who is the first victim of AI? Is it the software engineers? So that was my post which I made.
Mm.
And I got few comments call also ki it's not only software, everyone. Because but that is how we have to think how we can adopt AI and work with it. You have to work with everyone. Like being a senior, I have to work with my juniors. Being a junior, you have to work with the senior. Like how we work in our day-to-day life in our society, so is with the technology. So you have to work whatever comes. You can't just throw it in the trash without even knowing how it works.
100%. Absolutely, Mr. Santosh. In fact, when the glimpse of AI was about to come, I mean, people thought, okay, AI is coming, but of course, I mean, they had an impression the arts, VFX, and multimedia this wouldn't be impacted initially, right? So, but it happened otherwise. I mean, it happened reverse. I mean, the arts, VFX, all has been done through the AI nowadays. And you look at the developers. I mean, you have Cursor AI, you have Lovable. They actually makes the jobs quite easier. I mean, what used to take like a month or so, this AI tool can build the entire SaaS product in a day itself, probably less than that. So
Yeah,
things are
very
actually being changing very fast.
yes. So the only message is that you should never run away from anything.
Hmm.
Stand still, see how it is, take whatever is benefits you, leave the rest, and trust yourself. As I said, ki last is your mind should be behind everything, not someone else making decisions for you. It means it should do what you tell it to do. It's like a fishing attack. No, you tell a person, you make a person do what you want to do. But
Right.
in other product, or if you're using some technology, it should do what is required by you as such, or the client as
Right.
such.
But Mr. Santosh, I mean, we are encouraging people to get into DFIR or get into the cybersecurity industry. But uh, there's also news going on. I mean, a lot of people are reading as well. I mean, developers, a lot of developers have got fired as well because of AI, VFX engineer, artist also. So what if the stock analyst can also be replaced? I mean, what is the probably single line message you have for them, that yes, you learn on DFIR, you won't be replaced in the future?
See, I'll put it a more generic way. You have a particular niche skill and you won't be replaced. And to that niche skills, you have to have a continuity learning or training for that, whether it's AI or whether it's something related to your skill. If you are updated yourself in that particular thing, no one can ignore you or no one can replace you. And that's what it goes for every other skill set which is there.
Right. And I think the similar thing, what I also like to add a point here, a very small point, that people also ask me about this as well. So when I tell them that, you know, AI can do everything, Chat GPT, all the perplexity and all those tools can do all the jobs, but they cannot do one thing, which is taking accountability. So in order for human, there need to have a human to take the accountability. So what really matter is upskill or being a niche, to have a specialization. This is the very, very important thing, I think, because in the future probably the general thing will vanish, that would be done by the AI. Second thing, I think if we have a more of a human behavior skills improved, like taking the responsibility, being proactive, I think this would be very important skills while being a technical professional in any domain, I feel. So yeah, I agree with you on this point. I just have few more questions and some rapid fire questions. So just wanted to understand, I mean, if you been, imagine if you are, let's say again a hands-on DFIR engineer, so what would be some of the top three tools you would have as a DFIR engineer, especially as open source tools? What do you like the most?
See, open source, I like Autopsy, I like Volatility, I like Wireshark. These have always been in my kitty whenever I go
Nice.
for DFIR space. I like Network Miner. I mean, there are many tools. You see,
Right.
I don't want to. Once you say that you work on open source tool, I agree that you are working on many open source tools. So I would like to have at least one in every category. One to address my
Right.
network forensics, one to address my say imaging, one to address my analysis. Right. So these things I would all surely like to have these things in my kitty. Frameworks like you had
uh,
Matrox, Kali. They are frameworks which supported everything. They had everything in themselves. So I used to keep initially. I used to keep all those. In fact, still I have those particular CDs burnt, and I have not used them for long. But I have those tools available with me. Uh, I don't use them anymore because there are a lot of
uh
commercial tools which I have at my disposal as of now. But it is there.
Nice. I mean, you mentioned about Wireshark. I still remember when I got my first job as a network engineer, I was having no clarity about what was happening over the wire. That's where I actually tested this Wireshark, and this actually that day changed my life. I mean, I actually got the idea what happened on the OSI layer from layer two to network layer to transport layer. That actually changed. I mean, and I probably till last 3 years I was still using it very often. I mean, I still in love with Wireshark. So I mean, 100% Wireshark
Even
is definitely
I
the best.
still use it for incident response during audits. When you do network
Oh.
audit and all, we still use it because
Mhm.
you have to know what's flowing in the network, right?
Uh-huh. Nice. What is after DFIR? I mean, Mr. Santosh, I mean, if someone, let's say, got a job as a DFIR engineer, so what are the things that he can do probably after that? You move from DFIR to CTO, then CBO, right? Your journey has been fantastic. So for people who somehow got a job into DFIR from SOC analyst level one, what is the career roadmap for them as a next step?
See, in the present generation, this is a very tricky question because the fast food world, everyone wants, things to happen on the click of the hand. So thinking a long-term perspective is very not the right thing. But yeah, but I would say that in DFIR space, it's as I said, the long way to go is you can start your own companies.
Hmm.
If you start as a fresher, then as an analyst, or if you join, then become as a team lead, become a CTO, or even become a CIO or CBO. You can become a CEO also, but it's a ladder, right? So, but while climbing that ladder, you should realize that you should from that T vertical, you have to start knowing other things also. As I mentioned, you should know cybersecurity,
Right.
sales, accounts,
Correct.
legal, and other things. So you grow like a tree. So for everyone in any vertical, even if he's a pen tester or a DFIR person, so after a few years he has to know other things also to grow in that ladder and become a senior person or start something something bigger in this. So for DFIR space, it's going to grow in the times to come. And as I said, since with every technology will come the crimes, and with
Right.
every crime you will require an investigation. With every investigation, you will require a DFIR specialist, a DFIR tool, and a DFIR thought leader. So you have to find your space. Don't look for everywhere. Just look straight to what is there in front of you. And one important thing, what I would like to tell you in DFIR, which we have not talked about, DFIR is all about integrity and confidentiality and ethics.
Right.
The person who can have this will grow very high and will be very successful in this particular field.
That was my last question actually for the segment. I was about to ask that in your
So
team.
that's where it's predictive. No, I'm predicting what you're going to ask
Oh
me.
wow, that's a productive DFIR, isn't it? Wonderful. So my actual question is, if you look at your team or maybe the DFIR engineers you have, what are the top three skills or top five skills you see then that you really admire? It's maybe a technical, maybe a people skill, communication skill, whatever it is.
Yes, first thing is the analytical skills are very important
Hmm.
because analytical skills tells you about thinking out of the box because every case comes different. You have to think logically, technically, and there are many cases where you don't need technical expertise more. You have to have logical reasoning also more.
Right.
So analytical skills are important. Technical skills are important. Means of basic knowledge about, as I mentioned, about operating system, file systems, networking, about how things work, how computers works, and so on and so forth. The what I see lacking is that people do have analytical skill and technical skills. They miss communication skills, how to
Mm.
put it on paper. Because at the end of the day, whatever you do is going to go to the court or to the management, who's going to
Right.
read it, who may be a layman and he'll not understand what you have done on your analysis. So putting across the communication skill is the most wanting I have seen. People should work on those skills. First is how to put it on the in black and white in a form of a report, and secondly, when you're called to the court, how you answer, how you protect your report as such. So that communication skills are very important. Next, I mentioned in the last question, there's the integrity, confidentiality. If you're not able to maintain that, that is I'll not categorize into a skill, but that is one important aspect which is very much required. So these things are very much required, and patience. Patience is very much important. And I always tell my students or professionals, passion and patience is what is required in DFIR. If you have these two things, no, because people will jump on you. Like even when I was doing a case, people used to say, "Give me in a day." It is
Mm.
to take 3 months, 6 months. It can happen in one day also. So passion
Right.
and patience are the two things. If you have that in your baggage, no, then it will take you long. Apart from the communication, analytical, and technical skills.
So, thank you so much, Mr. Santosh. That was really wonderful. I really enjoyed the conversation. I hope our viewers get really valuable outcome from it. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for calling me, and I had a wonderful discussion with you. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir. Bye bye. Take care.